Welcome to the InstaClass by MIT Online. My name is Vinay Pushpakaran. I am a marketing strategy consultant and a keynote speaker. But today I'm here to talk to you about a topic which concerns all of us at some point of time in our career: being an effective manager. What is managerial effectiveness, or uh, how do we become effective managers? As we move ahead in our career, as we grow in our career, be it any domain, sales, marketing, HR, operations, manufacturing, any industry, over a period of time, as you move ahead, you would be responsible for managing a group of people. There would be a team reporting to you. You would be part of a team reporting to somebody. And managing people is a core part of your responsibility. There would be a group of people who would form your team. They would be looking up to you for clarity. They would be looking up to you for direction. They'll be looking up to you for a lot of things. But at the end of the day, as a manager of this team of people, you have a goal to achieve, which is very closely to what your organization needs from or expects from your team. All who are listening to this Insta class, at some point of time or the other, you may start off as individuals, you may start off as part of other people's teams, but over a period of time, over a few years, you would be managing a team of your own. You would be having a group of people reporting into you, working together. How do you become great managers? Because there is one thing, we en- we become the best version of ourselves when we work with the right set of people. Whatever office you're working in, whatever company you're working for, people work for people. People work with people, not companies, brands, organizations, offices. No, it's always people who work with people. And that's why being an effective manager is such an important concept, such an important thing. And today in this capsule Insta class, I'm going to share five very important skills, five important elements which I want all of you to imbibe and work on as you are studying, as you're working. These are five things that you need to build on and learn as you go on. Please do share your questions in the chat box here. Some of the questions, the shorter questions, I will handle in between the session, and for the longer questions, we will have them towards the end. I would love to have questions. I would love to take questions. So, first, number one, five things. First one, leadership. Being a manager is about being a leader. Whether you like it or not, whether that's your style or not, whether you want it or not, if you are managing a group of people, you are leading a group of people. Now, your style of leading could be different from anybody else's. There is only one thing that I want to share with you here is that a lot of people make this mistake that leadership is something that they see somebody else doing that. Oh, he leads his team like that. Oh, how authoritative. If he is authoritative, he must be gaining everybody's respect. Please understand that leadership has multiple styles. There are multiple ways of leading people. The important thing is, do you have the respect of your people? Are you able to get the best out of your people? If are your people, is your team working in one direction? Are they moving forward in one direction? You might have different diverse people in your team, but are they all working towards one single objective, one single goal? Are you producing results? If you are answering all these questions in the yes, you do not require to be a leader like somebody else. You can be your own leader in your own style. Leadership, always, please make a note of this. Leadership is about getting the best out of your team. If team loves performing, giving their best with you, The first box is ticked. After leadership, let me come to the next point. What is the next point? The next point, very, very importantly, empathy. A lot of managers do not. Now, when we are working as part of somebody else's team, and then over a period of time we become a manager, we are somehow stuck in that mindset that, okay, I only have to this is how I am. Now I'm sure that the people in my team will understand me, so let me be myself. Now, being your own self is absolutely fine, but when you are a leader, you need to have empathy. The second important factor, the second important thing that you need to remember after leadership is empathy. What is empathy? Empathy is understanding how another person is feeling, understanding what he is going through. This is very different from sympathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for somebody. That is not what is relevant here. Empathy is understanding what the other person is going through, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and feeling what he's feeling. As a manager of people, as a leader, you have to empathize with your team. You need to understand how each person, what their challenges are, what they find difficult doing, what they find happiness in. You cannot keep yourself inside a silo. You cannot have yourself in a closed compartment and said, okay, I will only be the way I am and I only care about myself. No, you need to understand the people around you, because what you think is right for people may not be what is right for people, right? In relationships, it happens. With friends, it happens. In a lot of places, we often think that we know what's right for the people. No, my friends, empathy is very, very important, because only when you're an empathetic human being can you be an effective, good manager. Because only when you empathize with people do people trust you, people like working with you, and people want to give their best for you. Empathy is the starting point for a good leader. So, leadership, empathy, these are the first. Number three, communication. As an effective manager, you need to learn, or you need to be good at getting your message across, getting people to understand what you want to say. Communication is an extremely important skill for a manager. You cannot be a good manager and not know how to communicate. You need to understand what kind of words to use, what is the body language to use, how do you uh, convey a good news to somebody, how do you convey a bad news to somebody, how do you give feedback to somebody, how do you request somebody to go the extra mile for you, how do you share a negative feedback with somebody, how do you uh, tell someone to task, how do or how do you share a compliment. All these are just some of the examples of communications that are very, very important as a manager. How do you applaud and how do you reprimand? Both these are very important skills as a manager. Managerial effectiveness is largely influenced by communication. So after leadership and empathy, the third most important element for a good manager is communication. Number four is decision making. A lot of times teams are not able to move towards their goal, teams are not able to produce good results because they go into multiple mindsets. One could be an analysis paralysis. They analyze too much. Otherwise, they go off on a tangent. Often, when you've had team meetings, even for sport or something else, sometimes there's too much of discussion on strategy, but there's no action taken. Sometimes there's confusion. The fourth very important thing is decision making. As a good manager, you need to be able to develop your decision making skills, assess what information you have at hand, Understand what is it that you require. Sometimes you may not have a perfect situation. You may not have all the information on the table for you to take a call. In that situation, anybody can make a call. But you would have a bunch of information, or I would say that you would have a small set of information, and you would have people around, and they would look up to you to decide the way forward, and you need to be able to take that call. Keep people first is my suggestion. When you keep people first, everything else falls into place. So decision making is the fourth and and very, very important element of being a good manager. The last thing, very important thing, you wouldn't have heard of this one in too many discussions or meetings. Focus. Number 5 is focus. Focus is an extremely important skill or a quality for a manager. A manager needs to focus. Your team may get distracted. People can get distracted. Your team may suddenly decide that that this needs more time, this needs more resources. You are the one who has to bring focus to the table. You are the one who has to get everybody to move forward. You are the one who has to make sure that yes, whatever we do, we may have fun, we may hang out over a cup of coffee, we may have a party, but at the end of the day, when we group up in office, we team up in office, we have focus on what we want to achieve, what we want to do as a team, how are we producing the results, what is the organization getting from our team, what I'm doing for that. Once again, let me go through all the 5. To be a great manager of people, you need to have leadership, you need to have empathy, understand people. You need to be good at communication in different scenarios, in different contexts, for different purposes. You need to be good at decision making. You need to be able to make good, fast, and excellent decisions. And last, you need to have focus. Even if your team loses focus, you need to have focus. You need to give direction to how the team moves forward. These are the 5 elements that I wanted to share with you in today's InstaClass. And I want all of you who are listening to me, who are going to be, or who are already working in various companies, or who are going to be working in different companies, as you move ahead in your career, please remember these 5 nuggets of managerial effectiveness. Please remember that these are 5 elements. When they come together, they make magic, and you become an amazing manager. Over to you for all your questions. Thank you very much. And I would like to take any questions if there are. And I wish all of you, all the listeners of this InstaClass, the very, very best of luck in your career, and become amazing managers and lead amazing groups of people. All the very, very best. Thank you.